We're going live this morning from my shed. And I'm kind of excited today. Today is going to be a good day. I haven't been going live like I've been saying I'm going to. I got to get back on that because I really do enjoy the time I spend with you guys and just whoever pops on. Feel free to comment once you pop in, roll in. If you're just scanning through. So I did a thing, and that thing is right there, and I'm so excited about it because that means, oh, look at that, I already got stuff on my face. That tire means another 20,000 miles of fun, and we're doing this. Lots and lots of more fun. So I don't have anything cool on my desk that I haven't shown you already, which is unfortunate. I need to go find some more cool stuff. But I did get my hands on something neat. I got my hands on a generator that outputs 12 volts and 120 volts. And I hooked my voltmeter up to it yesterday, throttled it all the way up, and it'll output all the way up to 220. So let me tell you what that means. I've had this dream for a long time of building a hybrid electric motorcycle. One that was driven by an electric motor and powered by a generator. To me, that's the best of both worlds, simply because, for one, that's how trains work. They have a hybrid electric system, and they basically, when you see a locomotive, the diesel part is just a generator. It's not actually driving the wheels. At least this is my understanding of it. And I think it's a crazy efficient thing to do, because now the gas engine's doing its best work, and the electric motor is doing what it does best. So I'm going to give that a shot and see what happens. So we'll see. I don't know when I'll be able to get to it, or actually how much actual progress I can make when I can get to it. But hey, some progress is better than no progress, and there's still a lot of problems I have to work out. But the first goal is to get the generator mounted into the engine cradle and get the motor mounts fabricated for the rear wheel. And then just make the thing move under its own power. If I can do 40 miles an hour with it, I'll call that a win. Because you can always go from there. I've got two motors to work with. One is a 90 volt DC brush motor. It's a 2 horsepower, and the other one is a 220 volt DC brush motor, which is 4 horsepower. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but it's what I got. They're old treadmill motors. I'm waiting on a motor controller that I think will work for the project. So basically this is going to be the setup. The generator is going to be in the cage, in the engine cradle. And in between the generator and the motor, electric motor, it's going to be this motor controller. So the throttle on the handlebars is going to be strictly controlling the motor controller. Whereas the generator is going to be controlled, if I can have my way, by a thumb throttle. Some sort of thumb throttle to where I can rev it up and leave it at a certain RPM. And this is going to be one of two purposes. This is where I think this motor is really going to, this setup's really going to shine. If I'm riding around town, I don't need the full power of the generator. What I need is, excuse me. What I need is the efficiency of the electric motor, and so I won't need the full thing. I won't need the full power. And so, say I set the throttle to where the generator is only running at, say, 50 volts, outputting 50 volts. So from 0 to full throttle is only going to give me a quarter of what that electric motor can do. Now imagine how long that's going to make that motor last. And imagine this, how long that tank of gas is going to, I know, I'm not Steve dash O, I'm Steve apostrophe capital O. Sorry. Sorry to disappoint you. But anyway, there's a lot of crazy stuff that does happen on my channel. So I got that name in college and I kind of like it, so I stuck with it. But anyway, what's going to be neat about this is, you know, say I power the generator up to about 50 volts, towards outputting 50 volts, and that gives me a 0 to 50 volt potential for the electric motor. If I need highway speeds, if I need faster highway speed, now I don't know what that's going to translate into as far as miles per hour goes, but there's only 2 wheels on a motorcycle, so there's only 2 friction points of contact. So honestly, if the thing will get me up to 40 miles an hour, that's scooter speeds, and I'll call it a win. We can always upgrade the setup. And there is the option too, because it's a chain drive, I'll be able to mitigate some of that horsepower with torque. I'll be able to gear it to where I don't know, I'll figure it out. There's a lot to figure out here. But I think it's going to be a really fun project. I've wanted to do this for a long time. My friend Corey totally pulled through, gave me this raggedy old generator, put some gas in the carburetor, clean the carburetor, put some gas in, and the thing fired up. So that's a win. A lot of fabrication I got to do. I'll show you the generator. It's just one of them cheapo 1500 watt deals. That's it right there. And so I really want, I'm not going to use the gas tank that came with it just to save space, but I want to make some sort of box to go on the top of this that'll work off the existing mounting points. Like there's one here, and one here. Looks like there's one here that's not being utilized. And then there's a connection here. So that'll be pretty neat. This thing does run, put fuel in it yesterday. Got to work out this governor system setup. For whatever reason, it's not governing. Yeah, look, hear that? That's the sound of somebody forgetting to turn my air compressor off. Gotta wait for that to end. Almost over. Any minute now. It is so obnoxious. If the generator wasn't way if the air compressor wasn't way over there, I would totally freaking turn it off right now, but I'm not going to. Yeah, we just got to wait this out. That is ridiculous. Wonder who forgot to turn that off. Story of my life. There we go. Now we can talk again. But I want to fabricate some sort of plate to go on top of it. That way I can put some sort of storage box on it. That way, hey, storage, man. I do a lot of life on the back of a bike, and I think this will be the ultimate town bike, to be honest with you. And I can't help but wonder how many miles I'll be able to get on a gallon of gas. Is it going to be terrible, or is it going to be amazing? Who knows? But yeah, that's the glory of this system. I can throttle the generator down to where it's sipping gas, or I can throttle that sucker all the way up to where it's running full power if I want to. I'm going to try to go with one of these, this carburetor. Actually, it's going to hook up like this. This should fit the generator. Let's see. This does not fit the generator. Let's see if this will. This does not fit the generator. So, right here, right now, I have to come up with a different system. But the carburetor on it works fine. I may just use that. and work out a way to where I can control the fine tune the throttle, which kind of works because that means I don't have to disconnect the governor. I just have to work out some sort of throttle solution. But I'll be able to throttle the generator up and down and get the desired voltages I want out of it. And so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. There's a lot I got to hook up. The beauty, like I said, this thing also has a 12-volt output. So that means I'll be able to run standard motorcycle accessories. I don't really need a battery, but I can have one. Pretty neat. I can have one of them 12-volt car batteries or whatever. I'll be able to use standard motorcycle lights, standard motorcycle blinkers, all that good stuff. And so there's a lot I got to hook up. There's a lot I got to do. So I am excited about it, though, because that is really freaking cool stuff. And the way this bike is set up, man, it's just screaming mad science. So that's what we're going to do. And so that's the news with the motorcycle madness. I really should have filmed this last night. I kind of did a little bit. I was really irritated going into this project. This is my main motive go right here. Simply because there were so little solutions available. The videos showing how to tear this thing apart were awful. And I gave up and just winged it. I've taken shaft drive wheels off before though, so it's not that big of a deal. I had to kind of expedite the Nighthawk. There it is, it's finished. Got kind of irritated with YouTube and didn't film that either. But whatever. If YouTube would monetize my channel, then I would put more effort into my content. And it's not that I make bad content, but the algorithm sucks. Man, y'all, if y'all have ever had to deal with this, it sucks. It really sucks. It is not in the favor of new content creators at all. And nor does it offer any real help in learning the system and being able to be successful. It ain't like the good old days where you could just get on there, make videos, and if people liked your stuff, they would continue seeing your channel. That doesn't work like that anymore. YouTube really screws the pooch on new guys. They don't really care about new guys. But it is what it is. And but thankfully the lives like we're doing now are very much user driven. So the more you guys comment, the more you guys watch, the more you'll see of it. So I really might just focus on this. Who knows? Who knows what I'm going to do? Maybe I'll just do lives and give you updates on my cool projects, because that's mostly what most people want to see anyway, is the end result. They watch the whole video just to see what it looks like at the end. And a lot of guys will just fast forward, because you could see what people do on your videos. A lot of folks will just fast forward to the end and be like, okay, you just literally skipped hours worth of hard work just to see the end result. Hey, that's what I'll give you. So you got a good view of the Nighthawk. It's done for now. The motor still needs to be tore down. Third gear still needs to be fixed. That's more than I can do right now because my main bike is tore apart. And I'm just kind of done working on the Nighthawk at the moment. I just want to play with it for a while. And I kind of go through that. I got another bike I've been screwing with. Showed you guys this the other day. This carburetor is in excellent shape. Watch that. If you know what you're looking at, that's a good thing. Pulled it off, took it apart. I can't find parts for this thing, for this particular carb. I can't find gaskets. Here's the brand. And that's kind of the issue with Chinese carbs, is where do you get it? Like, I don't see any model numbers on this thing other than that right there. There's no model numbers. There's nothing to reference. And of course I've referenced that. But thankfully though, I was able to put a choke on it that came off of another carburetor. I'm glad this is a standard part. So, but I mean, I think if I hook it up, it'll run. I think it'll run, and I think it'll run good. So, who knows? Who knows? That little red bike is going to be drug in here, and we'll tear it. We'll tear into that and have some fun with it. While I wait on inspiration for the big bike, the hybrid electric, the redneck hybrid electric. That will be interesting, and that'll open up a lot of possibilities. Now, I've talked before about fuel experiments that I want to do, where I vaporize gasoline and make that work, where I vaporize diesel fuel, make that work, where I vaporize motor oil and make that work. I still haven't quite worked out the details in my head on how exactly I'm going to be able to do that without creating a rolling bomb. Because I do like my fingers, I do not like recovering from injuries. So, yeah, about that. We don't want to blow up all my handiwork, or maybe we do. Who knows? But I think we can pull it off though. It'll be neat. It'll be fun. It'll be neat. And I did this yesterday. Check this out. This is gasoline in a squirt bottle. I don't know why I've never thought about this before. This is either a bad idea or it's an amazing idea. But it sure as heck makes it easier to start old engines that have corrupted fuel systems, because you can just and see if you got ignition, see if you got compression. Basically, you can use this to test to see if your engine will run. That's kind of what this is. So don't use it to clean anything. Definitely don't drink it. It's gasoline. You can atomize it too. I wish I had a lighter out here. I would, boom, gas atoms. Maybe I can do some rudimentary fuel injection system with this. Stand over it and ride, whatever. Now I'm being dumb. But it's a good day today, and I've got a lot to do on the Lone Wolf Blues side of things. Got a lot to finish there, and today's a good day to do that because it's kind of cold outside today. I know it'll warm up later, and I'm going to want to ride the bike later, which I probably will do. I need to show you guys my pond that I found. I found this really beautiful pond. Apparently somebody in the city had this pond made for disabled people. And so it's a fishing pond, but unless you're disabled in very specific ways, you're not allowed to fish there. But they didn't say anything about sitting and watching. I've been going out there almost on the daily watching fish, and it's beautiful. It's a really beautiful pond. The water's kind of low. I'll be glad when it fills back up again. But it is still a very beautiful pond, and I love it. And that's pretty much all I have to talk about today. I'll segue into this too, because I always want to throw a little recovery stuff. Man, y'all know if you know me, you know my big thing in life is, preaching recovery. And really not so much recovery as preaching growth, because recovery creates a growth mindset. And in my story, in my recovery, which is a little different than a lot of people's, I didn't get into recovery because of drugs and alcohol. I've never done drugs in my life. Outside of medications from the doctor in the ER, in the emergency room, yeah. I've never had any sort of mind-altering experience. I've never been intoxicated in any way. Haven't even drank alcohol before. And so, and I ain't saying that bragging. I'm just saying that to give you a baseline of what I'm working with here. And so I got into recovery not because of drugs and alcohol, but because simply the lady that did recovery at my church just needed help. And I'm going to tell you, it was a life-changing event. And it was the first time in my life I seen real honesty from people. When I started getting into recovery, I've never seen true honesty before. Not that everyone in my life is a liar, but step one. Who do we lie to? We lie to ourselves first. We lie to us first. And if I lie to me about things, I'm sure as heck gonna lie to you. Just being real here. This is that honesty I was talking about. And as I've learned what honesty looks like, and it's kind of hard not to see honesty when you see five guys sitting in a circle. Hey, my life's a dumpster fire because of A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Next guy says, hey, my kids hate me because my life's a dumpster fire. Next guy, hey, man, I got a bad drug problem and my life's a dumpster fire. I've cheated people. I've lied to people. I've done terrible things. And when you start hearing that out of people's mouths, and what blows me away is how comfortable they are saying these things. Like they said things in the beginning that I would absolutely be afraid of saying myself. Like why would I put myself out there like that? And so as I got more comfortable around these guys and more comfortable around, hearing what honesty sounds like and seeing what honesty looks like, and then I realized one day that, I don't think any less of these guys. I don't think any less of these guys. I don't think any less of these ladies. And they're telling me their deepest, darkest secrets. They're telling me the trash in their lives, and I don't think less of them. And they gave me the courage to be able to start seeking things in my life that I want to be honest about. And again, in recovery, who do you lie to first? In Christian recovery, you lie to yourself, you lie to God, and then you lie to people that you trust. And then you lie to everybody else. In that order. That's how it works. And believe me, I know. I've been doing this for a long time. And in my recovery process, as I'm discovering things about me that quite literally I was consciously blind to, and you would be surprised how much in your life you're consciously blind to. Your brain literally will just exclude things that are painful. It really will. There's people with higher levels of education who will definitely back up what I just said. You will be consciously blind to things that are offensive, things that are painful, things that hurt. Which is why, honestly, our country is so divided right now, but that's a rabbit hole I'm not going to go down. But anyway, once you become aware of those things, your first instinct, and I don't know why this is, I don't know why this is the case, but it is. The first thing you're going to do is totally beat yourself down. When you become consciously aware of the shortcomings that you have, your hurts, your habits, your hang-ups, you'll start to beat yourself down. You'll start to depreciate your self-worth because your self-worth, for whatever reason, on a natural level, is connected to your worldview, your belief mindsets. It's connected to your self-worth is connected to the image that you want to have for yourself. This is why a lot of ladies get depressed when they gain weight. Oh, this isn't the image I want for me. So obviously I'm not a good person because I'm not as valuable of a person because I don't look like this supermodel that I feel like I should look like. Guys do the same thing. Oh, we tend to be in denial of ourselves. We'll look in the mirror and see ourselves as more fit than we really are. And when we're faced with the reality, hey, I'm not the ripped stud I want to be, or hey, I'm not the genius that I want to be, or hey, I'm not the perfect person that I want to be. Hey, I'm not this person of moral high standing that I think I am. Then you start to go into this self-destructive thing. And so when I came to this real point, and in recovery we call them moments of clarity. When I had my first real moment of clarity about my food addiction problems, man, it was horrible. It was horrible. I felt like the most worthless person to ever breathe God's air. I really did. Which is so silly. Because now I know that one fault doesn't depreciate all the good that I've done in life. One failure doesn't depreciate all the accomplishments, what doesn't cancel out all the accomplishments I've done. But boy, it sure feels that way. And I remember how useless I felt, and I remember how worthless I felt, because I heard a testimony of a guy, somebody who I hold a lot of respect to. I'm not going to mention him because I don't know if he would want that or not. But anyway, he got online and he shared his testimony about his addiction, the relationship he had between, his thing was heroin, crack and heroin. And he talked about how it destroyed his family, destroyed his life, destroyed his world, destroyed his career. It did a lot of damage, and he's talking about his but the relationship that he had with his addiction was what really struck me, because it was the same relationship that I have with mine. Remember, who do we lie to? We lie to ourselves first. And so when I'm faced with this truth, faced with this reality, man, I completely broke down. And my first thought was, okay, how can I say no to so many things that so many people have said yes to, and still struggle with this one thing? Obviously, in my mind at the moment, I'm not a good person. I'm a terrible human being, and I don't deserve to be in the positions that I'm in. I don't deserve to be in the position in life that I'm in. And so I'm trying to come to terms with being this horrible person, and man, it just ripped me up. Like I really had a very self-destructive moment. And so I reached out to him, and I was like, man, I'm in this place, and I'm horrible, I'm terrible, blah 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 blah. I'm such a failure in life, because of this addiction that I can't shake. And I'm reaching out to him because he obviously shook his. Like, what did you do that I'm not doing? That's what I wanted to know. And so, and man, it means the world to me. It really does. Normally he's a musician, so he generally has some weird sleep hours. He stays up late at night. He goes to bed very late at night, sometimes 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and he wakes up very late in the day. So for him, he may be waking up at 12, 1 o'clock in the afternoon because of his sleep, his schedule. So this dude, let me tell you this, and this is friendship. This is real friendship. This dude went out of his way to make sure he was awake when he knew I would be sitting at my desk in the morning. I have a very set schedule. For the most part, I try to get my workday started at 8 o'clock. What time is it now? You guys are the start of my workday. And so he made sure that he knew he would be at my desk. And he called me. He called me back. He called me. And he started asking me questions like, hey, how are you feeling? Like, what's going on, dude? What's going on? And then he said something that I'll never forget. He was like, why are you so mean to you? He's like, I like you. I think you're a cool cat. Why are you so mean to you? And then he said something before I had a chance to answer, because he really floored me with that. He's like, if somebody said the things to you that you say to yourself, what would you do to that person? Quite bluntly, I looked at him. I'm a 320-pound biker. I'd knock their teeth out. Yeah, we would fight. We would fight because I say some pretty nasty stuff to myself. I have a very low opinion of me. And I'm okay saying these abusive things to me, but I'm not okay with somebody else doing it. And then he looked at me and he was like, so if you would fight somebody who spoke to you like you speak to you, then why are you speaking to you in those ways? Totally changed everything. Totally crashed my pity party. Like, here's my pity party. No, here's my pity party. Here's an airplane. Crashed it. It's a terrible analogy. I really need to stop using that. But that's what happened, and not only did it crash my party, but man, it changed my life in a very positive way, and I'm so grateful for that moment. And it's so funny, who God sends to you, out of the blue, who God sends to you. It's so funny how that happens, because that one moment changed my perspective on such a deep, fundamental way, that I no longer look at things the same anymore. And so I started some real self-examination, and I realized that I'm not the horrible person that I thought I was. I'm not the worthless failure. I'm not a mistake. Because I make mistakes doesn't make me a mistake. And it really inspires me to get on here and share these things with you guys, because I know in my heart I'm not the only human being who struggles like that. I know I'm not the only guy who looks in the mirror in the morning and on a deep level criticizes myself. And I know that it's just not only is it not limited to me, not only is it not limited to guys, but you ladies do it too. Man, you're so critical of yourselves. And for no reason. Guys, you're so critical of yourselves for no real reason. You really can. And man, hear this for the 10 folks that I see that are left on my life. Hear this. You are not the mistake that you think you are. You are not the failure that you think you are. Just because there are things in your life that are not running as they should does not mean that you don't have value. I am living, breathing proof. I've been trying this weight loss thing for years and have failed and failed and failed and failed and failed again. But that doesn't make me a failure. That doesn't make me a failure. And whatever you're trying to accomplish that you have failed and failed and failed and failed at doesn't make you a failure. And so I challenge you to do this. Start seeing yourselves in the way that you were created to be seen. And I believe this in my heart that of course, I'm a Christian. I got a Christian worldview. I believe we were created in the image of the Almighty, infinite God. We were made in His image. And when He made man, this is what He said. He said it is good, which is so interesting to me because man was created with the same potential for evil that man has now. The potential for evil, although according to the Genesis story, man had technically not sinned up until the point when he did. He was created with the potential to. So, if God in heaven created me with the potential of the most heinous, wicked nastiness that you can imagine and said it is good, then what is my real potential? Because I have the same potential for good. I have the same potential for construction as I do destruction. One's just easier than the other. And so when I lay myself out and see that I am beautifully and wonderfully made, that I'm not a failure, that I'm not a mistake, that I'm not worthless, that I'm not stupid. Somebody got on my live the other day and said, man, I find it to be ironic that an overweight guy's talking about fitness and health. Yeah, that is irony, because you don't see that. I'm one of the few, and I believe in it, and I'm fighting for it with everything I'm worth. Because this is my story, this is my recovery, this is what I'm doing. I'm trying to be a better person. I'm trying to not be a better person, but reach my potential. And I challenge you to separate your worth from your mistakes. Your mistakes don't define your worth. Your accomplishments don't define your worth. You are valuable just because you're you. And all you have to do is, okay, now that I'm not completely useless, now that I'm not completely worthless, let's lay out the things in my life that are holding me back from reaching my true potential. Lay those things out on a table and start to pick at them one at a time, one at a time, one at a time. Learn how to evaluate yourself in a non-destructive way. Separate what you find from your value. Your value is set. You are priceless. Hear what I'm saying right now. You are priceless. Am I any less valuable because my hands are dirty from a tire? Absolutely not. Smell like WD-40. This is what I smell like right here. For those of you who know what this smells like. Silicon WD-40. This is what I smell like. That and tire. Am I any less valuable? Does this depreciate me as an individual? No, because I'm going to go take a shower and boom, it's gone. I'm going to smell like whatever crap my wife buys. that I'm gonna smell like flowers, literal freaking flowers, because there's a lot of girls in my house and I'm too cheap to buy my own shampoo. Does that make me any less valuable? No. Does it make me any more valuable that I have dirty hands and can change a tire? Saved me $100. That's what it did. I was telling my wife last night that these tire change tools. I mean, this might be the best thing I've ever bought for a motorcycle. The best and the worst. But does that increase my value? Absolutely not. Your value is set at birth. You are beautifully and wonderfully made, and I don't really care what your belief set is, and I'm not here to argue it, and I'm not here to criticize whatever you might believe. But I'm here to say I want you to believe this. You are valuable, and separate your self-worth from your mistakes. Do this, and you'll be surprised what it does. When I made that decision and separated my self-worth from my failures and mistakes, because here's the reality. I'm turning 36 this year. In a few days, I'm turning 36. And in 36 years, and most of those years, I have strived to educate myself. I'm obsessed with knowledge. I still don't know it all. I still don't have it all together. If anything, the more I learn, the less I seem to feel like I know. That's what knowledge and wisdom is supposed to do. It shows you how much out there is to learn. And that's a beautiful place to be. And I challenge you to do that. Separate your self-worth from your mistakes. Because your mistakes don't depreciate your worth. I have seen the lowest of the lowest of the low. I've seen people who would shoot drugs in their arm and eat out of garbage cans, turning to the best human beings that you would ever possibly meet. People I would go to war for now. All they did was say, hey, you know what? I'm worth something. I'm worth more than this. I'm worth more than this high that I feel when I shoot a needle in my arm. I'm worth more than this gourmet of dumpster food. I'm worth more than that. And they stepped up to the plate. They got into recovery and they changed their lives. I looked in the mirror one day and I said, you know what? You're worth more than the mistakes you make. Now, you may struggle with codependency and overeating. That's what I say every meeting because it's true. I do struggle with these things. But you know what? Those things don't define what I am. They're just simple things that I struggle with. And when I look back, man, I see this constant level of growth. I know more now, and I'm doing way better now than I was 5 years ago. That's what it's all about. It's about growth. And when I ask God, what does he care most about? What does he care most about? In the whole Bible, I see this written through the whole Bible. What God cares more about than anything else is your personal growth. That's why we were created to grow. That's why we have the ability to make mistakes. And so I'm going to wrap things up. A little recap for those of you who are left. We got a generator. We're going to do some cool projects with that. The hybrid electric bike that's been sitting in the corner for so long is a go. Finally. I'm going to be able to make some progress on that. I don't know how much progress I'm going to be able to make, but I'm going to make as much as I can. The Nighthawk is running. The tire is fixing to be on the Super Shadow tonight. And there we go. Things in the shed are going as planned. Even if there is a lot of throwing of tools and swearing. Man, if I could ever get to a place where I don't swear at projects, I will be on another level. But it's okay. Life is short, and it'll be all right. So I'm gonna leave you with this. Remember, you're not stupid. You're not a mistake. Even if you make mistakes, you're not a failure, and the world is a better place with you in it. And I love you guys. That is the truth. I don't have to know you. I don't have to know who you are to be able to say that I love you, because it's the truth. If you need me, I'm easy to get a hold of, and I'll catch you guys on the fly. Later.